Is going vegan expensive? Hey, in case you don't know me, my name is Jason Chain, and that's what we're going to dig into today. So one of the questions I always see is like, oh, it's expensive to eat healthy. Oh, it's expensive to go vegan. And the truth is, being vegan is going to cost however much you decide it to be. So what I mean by that is it depends on what you actually eat. If you eat a lot of processed foods, if you eat a lot of restaurants, junk food, fast food places, then it is going to be expensive. Yes. And one of the reasons is because you're probably already eating an expensive lifestyle when it comes to your food. But what you don't understand is most of the food you're eating has been subsidized by the government. And so they're actually, because they have certain ingredients in there that causes inflammation that I've noticed throughout these different ingredients, that is why it's actually cheaper. So going vegan can be very, very inexpensive. And one of the ways I learned this was as I started transitioning, the first thing I was doing, which was a mistake that I was making, I was listening to all these other people who were telling me what I should eat. They was like, oh, you should eat this, you shouldn't eat that, you should eat this. I was spending tons of money, but even more, I was spending tons of my time searching for rare ingredients that I didn't know anything about, looking for flours that I didn't know how to use, how to cook with. And then I was using expensive things, and then my weight loss was starting to plateau. And it was because I wasn't eating food that was in my food home. And if you're not familiar with food home, it's like a GPS. This is the food that we go to each and every day, each and every month. It's the foods that provide us comfort, and it's the foods that we just love to have. And a lot of times we have these foods without even thinking. So like if you ever saw yourself going through a drive-through and without even looking at the menu, you already knew what you was going to order, that's because whatever that thing was you ordered was in your food home. So you want to actually start understanding what your food home is and what are the foods you go to. Because if you start breaking down your food home, you will start to understand how to make being vegan, plant-based, no matter what type of diet you do, very inexpensive. So just to let you know, like I went from where I was spending about $400 a month just for a family of two, and we went down to where we're about $100 to $150 a month. And that's because sometimes we splurge out and go get vegan sushi. Like, hey, I'm still guilty. Like I have the things that I like to eat. Like I tell people, like just because I'm plant-based doesn't mean I don't eat good. But really think about that. Like, how did I cut my budget more from almost more than half? And it was just by finding my food home, meaning I started understanding how to remake a lot of the foods that I used to eat and just made them in ways that I still enjoy. So like I still eat lasagna, I still eat burritos. Like I'm a Texas boy, so Tex-Mex is near and dear to my heart. I'm going to always have me some quesadillas, some tamales, flautas. All of these things like I still eat and I'm able to lose weight, and it's because I discovered my food home. So if you really want to if you're really thinking about going vegan and you want to make it inexpensive, you need to know what your food home is. What are the foods you go to for breakfast, lunch, dinner? What are the snacks you go to also? But even more important, what are the foods that you go to when you're sad, when you're happy? Like a lot of times we celebrate with food, and we actually grieve with food also. So like when we're sad, we grieve. So when my brother passed away, I turned to food. When me and my wife, we made our first sale in business, I turned to food. And what I mean by that is you're going to always have food that you go to. That's why we have the things called comfort foods. They comfort us when we're in pain, and they also comfort us when we're happy. So you want to get a good understanding of that. And if you want to really, really break down your food home, make sure you join the Facebook group I put together, Real People Losing Weight with a Plant-Based Diet. In there, that's where I really break down food home. I give you details, I give you pictures, graphics, show you foods that I eat, just to give you ideas and give you action steps too, to how you can start discovering your food home. And so start there. Discover your food home. What are the foods you go to? And then you want to just do a quick swap. So if you want to swap out, let's just take cheese, because cheese is something that's in just about everybody's diet. If you want to swap out regular dairy cheese for plant-based cheeses, you have two options. You can either buy the already pre-made processed plant-based cheeses, vegan cheeses, or you can learn how to make your own using just regular ingredients. One of my favorite ways to make cheese is I use red peppers, carrots, and potatoes with a little bit of nutritional yeast, season it, and it makes a really, really great creamy cheese sauce. And another one I like to do is with a chickpea based cheese sauce. And so those are just two inexpensive ways that I make cheese sauces in my house when we're eating. And so I hope that was really valuable for you. If you like that, make sure you hit the like button. Also share it if you know someone who could use this information. They've been struggling with going vegan, or they've been trying to take the plunge of vegan, but they just didn't know how they could afford to do it. That way they can get some value from this also. And if you're someone that's just looking to start losing a little bit of weight, click up the link above or below, depending where it is on your screen. I put in there, it's a free guide that I put together where it's 3 rapid weight loss tips that I put together. These are the 3 tips that helped me lose over 250 plus pounds, but also when I did a quarantine experiment on myself to make sure that this really works and it can work for anybody, I was able to lose another additional 40 plus pounds. So I hope that was helpful for you. And just again, make sure you click the link up above or below, depending on where it is on your screen. And have a great day. Stay supercharged.